All right, welcome back to Alliance War. It is Season 41 in War 7. For Loki is facing the Celestial Avengers. We did end up actually winning the last war, so the losing streak is over, and hopefully we can begin a little bit of a winning streak here. I'm going to be bringing Void once again. I'm going to be pairing him up with Diablo, and of course, I need a synergy partner for them passive poisons, and that's going to be Loki. Any chance I can get to bring Loki, I'm bringing Loki. All right, so I've got the global on. Now let's go ahead and get into the good stuff. I am not going to give myself any fights in Section 1. I'm going to spare everybody that misery. So let's just go ahead and jump right up to Node 23, which is this Gore. I'm going to be using Diablo, I think, for the first time this season. I'm staring here at my Essence of Null, and I remember before I activate the button that because Gore is global, the nullify from the essence isn't going to really help me. So I end up not using it. I'm just going to be relying on throwing the special one. So I used a PS1. I have the SP1 ready to go. I'm going to throw it here, nullify all his buffs. I'm going to shoot up all the way to an SP3 because of Mystic Dispersion. But I want, before I throw the SP3, I would like him to dump power, just because it's much easier to deal with his SP1s than anything else. So get him to block, get rid of those flourish buffs. I get myself rooted, but now I'm going to throw the special 3 and put all of my big passive poisons on him. So this is my strategy for this fight, and so far it's working quite well. I did have on my Mystic Power Back boosts. I did not have on the recoil tree. I'm just going to go ahead and launch the SP2. I probably could have waited a little bit, but and maybe even I should have. I don't know, because I'm not going to be able to refresh those poisons. I am going to take a little bit of a combo to the face just because I'm clown, but one more special 2 will finish it, so not too shabby. All right, next we're going to move on to Path 1B. First up, we have an Abs Man. This is one of the fights I brought Void for, and this is a very, very simple fight. I'm just going to be letting my debuffs do the work. I didn't do any sort of special mastery setup for this fight because, on this particular node, even a rank 4 Abs Man is not going to be overly complicated once I get all of my debuffs up. So yeah, just spamming special ones. The only thing to worry about is him getting too many passive regens and going unblockable. So just got to be careful about that. But otherwise, just going to switch forms and spam SP once. Probably should be heavy countering those specials just to remove the form, but I think it's probably best to just have that in my back pocket, because there is a cooldown timer on that. I don't know. It's probably a stylistic preference. Yep, there we go. Very easy fight. All right, next up we have a Galan. I had sort of debated whether or not I wanted to use Void or Diablo for this fight. I'm going to go ahead and use Diablo. No recoil masteries, just letting the PS1 sort of do the work here. And probably should have just built up to a special 3, but I wanted to keep my power somewhat in check so that way I could make sure to access the special whenever I needed it, so that way I could remove planetary mass. God, Diablo's so good. Alright, next we got this thing on 46. Done this fight before. I did change my masteries before this fight to go ahead and get sort of a science set up, making sure that I had, Despair, Resonate, and Equity, all that sort of good stuff. The PS1 from the Diablo versus Galan fight was still in effect, and so I had ready access to a special one just to make my life a little bit easier here at the beginning. So this entire fight is just about managing things rock stacks while I place my debuffs on them. And, yeah. You can see the thing's health bar is beginning to melt. So, pretty clean fight by yours truly. Pretty happy about it. I ended up, originally when I did the plan, I had myself using Ghost this War and taking different fights. But this thing always presents a challenge, so I had to take it. All right, final fight of the war here is Korg on 49. I'm doing it after the boss goes down. We left it up so that way we could ghost the Nick Fury boss, the Doom boss that they gave us. And so this is part of the reason why I brought Diablo. Now, I will tell you that I kind of fuck this fight up. I'm not going to die. Although, Lord knows I probably should. I messed this up because, I was changing my masteries after the thing on 46, and I was like, okay, I need to make sure that I turn on the recoil tree for this fight. Specifically, I want to have a poison on me and increase specials to deal with this Korg. And I was also thinking, making sure, don't throw your special 3 or your special 2 while he's got rock stacks up. I've got on my Mystic Power Back boost. I use a PS1 boost for, the third time this war. And the one thing I did not do is I did not turn on Mystic Dispersion. So that was mistake 1. Mistake 2 here is that I waited until I got rid of the rock stacks to throw the special 3. That's what you're supposed to do. But I did it at the beginning of his Incinerate phase, which really prevents me from getting in and doing any damage. So even though I'm nullifying the sort of post-SB3 buffs that Diablo puts on, I'm not gaining any power from it because I had no Mystic Dispersion. So I'm not going to be able to keep up those 8 poisons. So we're 330 in. My big stack of poisons is gone. And now I just got to fight this dude straight up using SB2s. Not ideal. It's right now that I've sort of, in the fight, I've realized that I've messed this up. Reminiscent of like Absman versus Penny last war. And so I really need to make sure that I play this flawlessly in order to get the solo. So yeah, 2 really, really, really big mistakes. No Mystic Dispersion, and throwing the special 3 at the wrong time. And that is really going to elongate this fight quite a bit. Fortunately, Diablo's a frickin' tank, and I can do some decent damage on these SB2s as long as I'm making sure and throw them when the rock stacks are down. During the Incinerate phases, I'm just sort of backing off. Look at this guy. This is where the fight got really, really tense for me. I'm able to shatter the rock stacks. Whew. Throw another special 2. Just doesn't do that much damage this time, unfortunately. And now he's back up to 6 charges, 3 charges. Uh-oh, he's unstoppable and unblockable. He's hitting me. This is not good. Now I'm stuck in the corner with him being unblockable and unstoppable. I have to intercept his heavy. And that intercepted the heavy saves me. That alone is what is responsible for me coming out of this fight with a full attack bonus, which I honestly did not deserve. This was a super sloppy fight by yours truly. I really messed it up, but better lucky than good is my motto. So hopefully we get out of this one with a win. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, see you in the next life chat.